Cardano ADA has built a strong following based on its real-world utility and evidence-focused approach. The nature of its quality leadership and funding looks quite appealing to the eyes. Many have conceded that this cryptocurrency will likely remain a major player in the coming years. However, just like there is a black sheep in every family, a yacht-loving Bitcoin evangelist sees Cardano ADA in a completely different light. New age technologies are constantly evolving, and it's dangerous to get caught up in a spot. Although it is very difficult to keep up with the pace, one has to stay aligned with the changes. For the past few years, the investment world has changed dramatically. This new world of investors is dependent on cryptocurrencies, small cases, NFTs, NPs, ETFs, and digital gold investments. Investing has hung around for centuries, but its future is still very uncertain. Many investors are concerned about the current condition of the market and whether or not it's a good idea to invest in the future. Few have managed to stay optimistic, and a notable example is the MicroStrategy CEO, whose optimism and resilience are on an exaggerated level. Michael Saylor has earned the title of a Bitcoin maximalist due to his top-notch belief in the coin. His company, MicroStrategy, owns about 130,000 Bitcoins, and it also took out a Bitcoin-backed loan to buy 190 million more worth of Bitcoin. Even with the recent wild price dips, his belief system in Bitcoin just got expanded, and he considers the short-term shortcomings of Bitcoin as mere noise. He is not thinking in the same way that the majority of others are. For hopeful experts like Michael Saylor, the pullback in the crypto market is simply an opportunity to buy at a lower price and record huge returns. With this strategy, the MicroStrategy CEO believes he is elaborating on his profitability years down the line when Bitcoin will eventually be worth more. The Bitcoin preacher believes Cardano ADA is a security, and it is very risky. Saylor has been boasting about how his company's stock was performing since it made its first Bitcoin purchase. He also took to YouTube to express his opinions about proof-of-stake networks. Quote, "My opinion is Bitcoin is a digital commodity. I think that all the proof-of-stake networks are securities, and they are very risky. The regulators will decide whether or not they will allow them to continue, or whether or not they don't allow them to continue." End quote. Cardano ADA is not the only recipient of Saylor's outrageous claims. The second largest cryptocurrency by market cap has had its fair taste too. In an interview, Michael Saylor gave a lengthy rundown on what he thought are the fundamental differences between Bitcoin and the Ethereum networks. As he suggested, only the former had remained unchanged over the years. "I think Ethereum is a security. I think it's pretty obvious. It was issued by an ICO. There is a hard fork, and there are continual hard forks. There's a difficulty bomb that keeps getting pushed back." The CEO also alleged that the constant need for software updates on a network driven by a team or entity represents an indicator that Ethereum is a security. According to his perspective, for a digital asset to be classified as a commodity, it needs to be backed by a completely decentralized protocol where nobody can change it, even if they wanted to change it. He also added that Ethereum is inherently unethical. He stressed that Bitcoin is a commodity, as the core of the Bitcoin network cannot be altered, much like the physical makeup of gold. If you want to establish yourself as a digital commodity, then you are trying to create something like gold in cyberspace, he noted. Despite the CEO's interesting points, the Bitcoin network has seen multiple network upgrades over the years. The most notable one in history was the Taproot soft fork from November of 2021, which was targeted at improving Bitcoin's scripting capabilities and privacy. The Ethereum founder, Vitalik Buterin, reacted to Saylor's opinions in a rather polemical tweet. "Why do maximalists keep picking heroes that turn out to be total clowns?" he stated. In the same way, the Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson stepped in. In an AMA session, he likened Michael Saylor to Tone Vays, given that the state of the market. Then the official Twitter account of Watcher Guru posted, "Charles Hoskinson says Michael Saylor's head is all effed up and screwed up after claiming Cardano is a security." Tone Vays is history. Vays skyrocketed to prominence in the crypto sector by decrying all digital assets other than Bitcoin as scams. Charles Hoskinson alleged that the MicroStrategy CEO has adopted Vays' perspectives in some of his claims. According to Hoskinson, Cardano ADA is more decentralized than Bitcoin. He added that Cardano is also more useful than Bitcoin, asserting that Bitcoin's primary use is as a store of value. Investors who have been purchasing ADA have done so for a variety of initiatives, not just to speculate, as many do with Bitcoin. He probed why Saylor would refuse to classify his preferred coin as a security while labeling a crypto asset with greater use cases than Bitcoin. Hoskinson admitted that it would be pointless to argue with Saylor about ADA since Bitcoin proponents are the most unpleasant, nasty, and useless individuals to interact with. Also, he cautioned that Saylor could go bankrupt if Bitcoin does not reclaim its previous highs. It's just one of those cases where Saylor is digging deep, fully digged in with Bitcoin, so it's gotta work, because if it doesn't work the way that he hopes, he goes bankrupt. So I don't give it much attention to it, and I don't think it's a productive conversation, Charles Hoskinson has said. It has been a tumultuous year, and MicroStrategy stock lost about 2/3 of its value since its peak last year. Grossly affected by the current bear market, it's the first Bitcoin bear market for Saylor, and his resilient action is quite shocking. Not everyone can hold on to a coin whose value has been wiped out on a large scale. So what's Saylor's lucky charm? Well, in an interview, he noted that when it comes to Bitcoin, investors have to take a long-term perspective. Quote, "If you are buying Bitcoin and you've got less than a 4-year time horizon, you're just speculating. And once you got more than a 4-year time horizon, then the obvious thing is your dollar cost average," he said. He touted the strategy of dollar cost averaging as a way of reducing exposure to the volatility of an investment. He noted, "You buy the asset you want to hold for a decade or longer, which is the long-term store value." Michael Saylor is quite unshaken about his losses so far, and his outlandish claims about Bitcoin's position in the crypto landscape have lingered for a long time and remain unwavering. He is not going to stop anytime soon. Perhaps this is the perfect moment for more Cardano proponents to rise. Cardano ADA needs a community that is strongly convinced about its prospects. Charles Hoskinson has emphasized this particular point in an interview with BitBoy Crypto. Cardano has its sights set high to make the world work better for everyone and redistributing power to the margins. Over the years, it has established quite a few partnerships. Dependence on research is a major part of Cardano, but there is also a disadvantage. While Cardano is still in its research phase, it gives competitors the chance to acquire larger market shares and take all of the credit. This is a scenario peculiar to its limitation. Despite launching in 2017, it wasn't until September 2021 that Cardano rolled out its smart contracts. The first dApp, called MintSwap, had to shut down due to issues with processing transactions. A similar situation was the catastrophic breakdown of the testnet when the network was about to launch the Vassal hard fork. Nevertheless, as much as these weaknesses can sway investors and users, Cardano is still brimming with immense advantages. The Cardano ecosystem has been growing steadily. It is flourishing with decentralized exchanges, NFT marketplaces, blockchain games, and much more. Cardano ADA could be a worthwhile investment for patient investors who can withstand the volatility. Plus, it is capable of shifting the gaze of Bitcoin maximalists, as it did to the Galaxy Digital founder, Mike Novogratz. Mike Novogratz is on par with the likes of Michael Saylor, Anthony Pompliano, and other Bitcoin bulls. In one of his tweets, the chief executive officer did not hold back his curiosity about an increasingly popular ADA. He wrote on March 9th of 2022, "Last question before I go shower. Can anyone make a real bull case for ADA? Does anyone build on it? Why is the market cap so high? Should it be a funding asset?" In addition, he admitted that Cardano ADA was one of the few cryptos he had not traded in his life. This tweet reached Charles Hoskinson, who was excited to have a call with Novogratz. With more of this deep interest, Cardano is capable of beating its competitors to the punch and living beyond the perceptions of the MicroStrategy CEO. But of course, what are your thoughts on this? Be sure to share them with us in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video, but before then, check out our other videos to find out how Cardano is living up to the dream of being the Ethereum killer. And as always, make sure to click on the subscribe and notification buttons.